Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, also published on Rumble. Blogger, it's got archive post there, and everything is on Patreon also as extra support. I will be doing also the second episode, Mutineer Zero, later today. And again, tomorrow is Sunday, it's my day off from the channel. Mainly because usually it's a very slow news day, so I take advantage of that and usually try to record some episodes so I can have stuff on the backlog there. On Rumble, again, I'm still catching up with XCOM 2. Should be a handful of episodes, then I will wrap up the upload stuff there. Basically, I don't know, I will try. We'll see how it goes. Maybe between today and tomorrow, see if I can do test live stream to test out my setup, if everything is stable regarding the live stream process there. Not much happening. Interestingly enough, MSI will bring the MPower series motherboard. It's been a while since they did this. I remember 7 years ago, when I was doing the upgrade on my thinking about upgrading my PC at the time. I remember checking these MPower boards. Usually they are very overclock enthusiast kind of a thing there. Again, for the Z7090, I don't know, especially because it's the LGA 1700 socket, which is going to be replaced by the end of the year by Intel. Again, investing this high of a high-end board for a Intel system, it's always very tricky because usually it just on that platform they only support 1 or 2 generations of CPUs. They tend to change this a lot, and given that usually these boards are way expensive, I don't think it compensates more to expend more money to get around and invest in this kind of board here, unless you just have money to burn, and if that's the case, it's okay, I guess. I think this could be applied better, for example, now for AMD platforms, at least the AM5 kind of a thing there, even though usually CPUs are not that depends on the CPUs from AMD. They can be tweaked around to extract a little bit, or squeeze out a little bit more performance out of them. I think it will be a better investment overall, because it's something that, at least so far, that you can take your money's worth out of investing this kind of boards. But something just curious here, because they're just introducing something that is, by the end of the year, it's not going to be irrelevant, but it's the thing. It's then if you want to upgrade your CPU to the newer version, it's not going to be support on this motherboard, because the socket will change. So very interesting that they went about doing this kind of, I don't know, investment regarding on the platform that is going to be it's not going to be invalidated, but it's going to start to get old by the end of the year, mainly because again, Intel tends to change their platforms between 1 and 2 generations of CPUs, which is it's not good. Regarding gaming news, I saw rumblings yesterday on X regarding a new Cyberpunk patch inbound. Again, this is not going to be content. Again, this is not going to. There's not going to be any kind of new content on Cyberpunk. Again, they basically are changing up everything to Unreal Engine 5 with the new games, especially with the Witcher trilogy, the new that it's coming, and the sequel for Cyberpunk is going to be also in Unreal Engine 5. And again, it doesn't compensate for them to maintain a huge part of the team to work on extra content for this game, because it's Red Engine 4. But still, they have like a maintenance crew there. to finalize some patches here and there. And I'm thinking that this is going to be happening at least for a little bit more time, mainly because we still saw The Witcher 3, the next gen update. I assume they will be continuing to support this game throughout the years, even if it is in a more sparse kind of a way there. But I think they're going to maintain like a skeleton crew, let's say, to continue to support this game in like continue to patch up certain stuff. I'm not sure regarding the mod stuff, the red mod kind of a toolkit. I think it's already out for this game. Yeah, and given that a lot of people, at least when they review new GPUs, they always go about and putting this game because it's poster child for DLSS stuff, news and FSR stuff. Path tracing, it's one of those games that is one of poster childs of performance and benchmarking. So I suppose they will maintain to a certain degree skeleton crew to maintain support for this game, but of course no new content. I think it's they are going to give us more details on what they are going to patch. I think there is also for Autofixer, I don't know what this is, from Phantom Liberty. I think it's something to do with the vehicle acquisition there on the DLC. There's been some issues supposedly, but yeah, there's going to be some fixes here. Like it's going to be a huge patch than we usually see for sure. I think they had enough time to gather around and go about patching and fixing everything they need to fix, at least at this moment in time. Again, I think I covered this. Yeah, it's on sale at GOG. How they call it, the Ultimate Edition, I think, with I think for $50 something with the DLC here. I think it's a good way or a good time to buy this game here. Eventually I will buy this game and do a gameplay through for sure. It's one of those that I like to mess around, but again, still catching up with 5 to 6 years of gaming that I didn't play. This will eventually be on my playlist for sure. Continuing, we got I covered this also a few months ago, maybe. Project 007, so 007 game. It has been done by the guys from the same studio, IO Interactive, the same guys from Hitman. They are trying to hype up people, which usually it's not that good. We don't have any kind of footage or anything. They are saying they're going to see unseen quality of gameplay animation. Hitman, I'm not sure. I played like 1 or 2 Hitman games in the old days. Yeah, this new Hitman, I think it's pretty good. But in terms of quality animation, I don't know what they're trying to refer here. But they are still also hiring in that department. But yeah, the promise from this guy from Senior Gameplay Animator, we are pushing gameplay animation to something yet unseen. It's constantly changing yet rewarding. As the team push each other to achieve new heights, you will help cement the animations on Bond and the world we are making on an exciting new canvas. And then cinematic animator Chema Costa just comment there. We have a solid team, blah 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 blah. We are real hands-on at several aspects of production. Amazing how well that aspect works on IO. There is a lot of enthusiasm and drive to grow, and they are also hiring for cinematic gameplay animator, facial animator. Even though the game has been announced in 2020, the first tease, yeah, they are still hiring. Usually, it's kind of normal in the industry. Even I don't know. I assume this game will have like a production cycle of 4 or 5 years. So maybe by the end of this year we have more details, or at least some gameplay tease or something like that. I think the game will be good. I think because if they're going about playing the strengths of their own studios, I think it will be a very interesting 007 game. The way they go about scenarios, it's like a puzzling thing. They introduce you a scenario with a mission, and then you have different ways to go about it. And I think can be very interesting in a spy, as 007 is. I think it's going to be interesting to see how, instead of, I think the last game that I remember they have some relevance was GoldenEye, which Nintendo 64, which is basically a multiplayer shooter. With some, he had some story missions there, but yeah, it was basically a first-person shooter, and having this kind of a different feel to it, a more spy thriller kind of a thing there. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they're going about approaching the character itself and the story. And supposedly it's like a new story, like early Bond. I think they have it here, where yeah, okay, open installed. Yeah, it's somewhere around here. I'm sorry, I didn't highlight that. But yeah, I think they're going to do like a complete new story, nothing based on the books, I think, from Ian Fleming. But yeah, well, I'm interested to see what they come about with this game. And finally, we got some more stuff coming out of Blizzard. The Odyssey game supposedly was a survival game. It has been cancelled. And of course, reportedly had a troubled development. Blizzard, it's known for not having any issues on canceling projects if they are not going well. This one has some interesting twists here. Jason Schreier usually do some decent scoops here and there. The game itself encountered a lot of troubles during its development phase. Okay, the original pitch came from Craig MI, former lead quest designer on World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor. Again, I'm not a World of Warcraft guy. And around 2017. Yeah, they wanted to start, they started prototyping in Unreal Engine, but then I assume the guys, Blizzard executives, reportedly forced a switch to the company's in-house Synapse engine. Again, I assume they wanted to save money because of the thing. If you do extra amount of sales, you have to pay a cut to Unreal Engine guys there. But yeah. But the problem is with Synapse Engine, they was originally created for mobile game development again, and of course, for sure they wanted to do some monetization scheme, the way basically Diablo 4 is, and Overwatch, and Hearthstone, and all of their games. Basically, it's microtransaction heavy. They wanted to, I assume, do something in that on those veins, and especially when you see crafting survival game, the infinite amount of opportunities to monetize something like that is it's endless if you want to go that route, and I assume that's what they were thinking, because I don't see any other way of not going for Unreal Engine, even though they said that the vast maps and supporting to 100 players at once was not good for the Unreal Engine, even though we have Fortnite, which is done in Unreal Engine for years, or since always, and it supports 100 players in the Battle Royale mode. So I don't know what they don't know how to work in Unreal Engine properly, or don't know the capabilities of it, or it's just a poor excuse of not going in that route. And of course, they tried to switch to the Synapse engine, and it went from bad to worse. They have a lot of issues, and a lot of the inside developers supposedly were waiting for the acquisition from Microsoft so they can try to get an approval to return to Unreal Engine. But yeah, supposedly here early playtest seems to be successful, although although the development would likely have taken until 2026, so 2 more years, give or take, if not longer, supposedly longer. It always takes time. However, they conclude that Synapse was not ready for production, which led to the cancellation of Odyssey. Yep. Yep. Again, they usually bring some uh, interesting concepts, and the games itself, the gameplay loop usually it's very good on Blizzard, but the last years, the monetization aspect of them, it took my interest away of getting about in their in their games. Overwatch was a no-go for me because it's a first-person shooter kind of a thing, but team versus team or whatever it is. The only thing that was kind of hyped at the time for me was Diablo 4, but then again, that is a fiasco. It's a lot of grinding, and if you don't want to grind, you have to pay your way out of it, basically, to try to get some enjoyment out of it. I think the late game stuff, it's okay-ish. But yeah, it's a lot of season content, so it's spend money to continue playing something that is already full price. Hearthstone was something that I was enjoying until a certain point, because I started Hearthstone in a beta when they had the beta stuff before like the official launch, so I managed to get around and playing around that, and I did, of course, then some videos out of it. But then the at first was pretty good. Like every 6 months they introduced new content, and then it started to a point that it's almost like a monthly kind of a basis here. And if you don't pay for the packs or pay for the inspections, you don't have, in terms of the competitiveness of the game itself, like the ladder stuff and the arena stuff there, you will get smashed all over the place. It takes out the enjoyment of playing a game like that. So I just quit the game. Never. I don't even have the Blizzard stuff installed now. Yeah, nothing that interests me for Blizzard at this moment in time. Hopefully they will get around, start investing on a single player game without the need of having to be online for me to play a single player game. Or if they have like an asynchronous multiplayer stuff similar to Dark Souls, Elden Ring, kind of that thing, I might go into it. But until they come up with a game like that, it's not for me. But yeah, this is what I got for news today. I'm going to wrap up some gaming deals. Again, got a lot of games. There is a lot of games that I covered yesterday and the day before. But today we got Neon Complete Edition, 77% off. Again, this is a pretty good game, like a Souls-like kind of a thing. It's an older game, 2017, so some aspects might be seemed a little bit out of time for some people, but yeah, I think it's still a pretty good alternative to Dark Souls. We got Resident Evil franchise all in sale. I will leave all the Resident Evil games in a list and the description below on the gaming deal section. Got System Shock remake. It's remake, right? It's a remake basically. If you're not sure, you have a demo here. If you're not sure for you, if it is for you, again, the remake is almost like pixel by pixel. Everything is maintained in terms of gameplay as the original one. It has a lot of graphic improvements, but yeah, I think for 50% off, I think it's a good game, and you will see. When you play the game, you for sure will notice a lot of similarities on the games you are playing now, but then again, a lot of these games in this day and age were inspired by System Shock when the original launch. We got also The Invincible, 20% off. Again, very narrative driven. I think it's based on a book. I don't remember which author or from which country it is. I think it's a Czech, Polish kind of author there, if not mistaken. I'm sorry if because I don't remember. Yeah, Stanislaw Lu. It's the author. I don't remember. Usually it's this kind of darker, more heavy themes. Usually it's or Polish or Czech guys. They are very interesting on the stories that they tell. But yeah, moving on. We got the Plague Tale on sale on GOG. So Plague Tale Innocence, 80% off and 55% off on Plague Tale Requiem. They have a bundle here somewhere. But yeah, you can buy it individually if you want to. The bundle the bundle that they have, it's also on a deal. I've got Deus Ex also, the 2 games on promotion, 85% off on the Human Revolution Director's Cut, which is the only version available anywhere. And Mankind Divided, this is the Digital Deluxe Edition, which is the one that I bought on Steam. Yeah, on Steam. It's well worth it. It has all the DLC and it's pretty cheap, $6. I think it's a good price there. We got also Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. Again, seems an excellent port in terms of gameplay options and everything. And it's one of those games that I will eventually get around and playing also. 75% off. Got Void Master, very good game. It's well worth the 70% off price that it has here. Again, roguelike style, first-person shooter, very interesting sense of humor there. And I already made a gameplay series out of it, and it was very enjoyable. I really enjoyed this game a lot. And finally, we got Wall World, 30% off. Again, even at full price, it's a pretty good game. I do recommend getting the Deep Threat, which is the DLC stuff. It adds a little bit more mechanics and increases a little bit the difficulty in some aspects. And yeah, I already finished the game several times. I just go about it from time to time. It takes a little bit of time. It's RNG dependent on certain things that you have to do, mainly because of the seed maps, I think. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's a kind of a mixture between the mining stuff, the tower defense on the waves, and some combat interesting boss battles there also. And the upgrades there are always in line with the lore itself. And it's got a very interesting story. It has everything ends in a cliffhanger, so I assume there's going to be a sequel somewhere down the line. And I'm really hopeful to see the mysteries of the story itself. I really enjoyed this game. And yeah, basically this is it for today, guys. I'm just going to wrap up with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. Again, the extra support will be for storage, for investing in storage, for me to be able to have backups of the things that I do for my clients, and of course extra storage for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, guys, I will see you Monday. Yeah, Monday or earlier, depending if I manage to go around and have time to get around and do some live streaming to do some testing there. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Till then, Kunamy Master out.